Here's an example of how you could use the mapping tool to inform your decisions. Let's say, for example, you are a truck manufacturer deciding whether to develop an electric or hydrogen model of your Class 8 diesel truck. As a general overview, you can look at truck imports and exports, or highway flows, to identify high density regions where there may be a strong demand for truck purchase. Next, you might want to find where there would be incentives to support fleets in purchasing electric vehicle trucks or hydrogen trucks, charging infrastructure, and electricity or hydrogen purchase. For example, some utilities provide discounted electricity rates for electric vehicle charging. You would want to target in the areas with more incentives. You can also compare the incentives for hydrogen and for electric vehicles. We are currently working on implementing a feature to allow details about each incentive to be seen on the map. You may want to know the commercial electricity price, as well as regions and corridors that the government plans to target for heavy duty charger and hydrogen refueling provision, in order to know where best to target the model and connect with logistics service providers operating in this region to explore partnerships. Most of the existing electric vehicle charging stations on the map are for passenger vehicles, not trucks. However, they may help assess where there's strong demand for electric vehicles and grid capacity to support charging. The same goes for the hydrogen stations. In areas with high maximum demand charge, you can get in contact with the electricity providers in the region to see if there would be a problem with demand, or if it would be possible to negotiate a reduced rate for electric vehicle truck charging. In regions where there's low demand charge, you can reach out to see if there was never much demand in the first place, or if the demand charge would stay low with increased electric vehicle usage. You can thus target in areas best equipped to support electric vehicles. For hydrogen, you would want to know where hydrogen electrolyzers are. Infrastructure providers will likely be motivated to co locate hydrogen refueling infrastructure near production sites. You can also consider the location of existing hydrogen stations. Some of the existing hydrogen stations on the map may already be targeted specifically to trucks, providing you with existing infrastructure. Some truck stop companies are exploring the possibility of building electric charging or hydrogen infrastructure. It could be worth reaching out to truck stop companies and fleets operating in high density areas to inquire about infrastructure provision plans or potential supply and demand partnerships.
You can compare the total cost of ownership of purchasing and operating an EV truck in different states to assess where fleets can expect to electrify at least cost. You can also compare life cycle emissions to see where electrification will have the greatest emissions impact. These cost and emissions estimates are based on the Tesla Semi and can be modified to reflect different payload requirements, annual miles traveled, and charging powers. For life cycle costs, you can also compare with diesel trucking to find regions approaching cost parity. You can then consider connecting with logistics service providers in these regions to explore partnerships and fleet purchase incentives. These layers can help you get a sense of areas where you may have receptive markets for electric versus hydrogen trucks and give you some initial information to explore more deeply.